Hey guys, welcome back to Labor Laws lecture series. Today's lecture is on the Employee State Insurance Act 1948. Here is the syllabus for Employee State Insurance Act 1948. It deals with the definitions such as employment injury, contribution, dependent, employee and principal employer. And followed by we will be discussing employee state insurance fund and what is the contribution mechanism for it and what are the benefits available to employees, followed by the administration of employee state insurance corporation, employee state insurance scheme, which includes ESI corporation, standing committee, medical benefit councils, and then adjudication of disputes. In case of adjudication of disputes, there will be ESI code. We will discuss the powers and duties of ESI codes, and we end our discussion with a comparative analysis of ESI Act 1948 and then Employee Compensation Act 1923. Here is an overview of Employee State Insurance Act. This act came into force from 1948, but central government has empowered state government to implement this act in their respective state according to their convenience. And then latest amendment to the act was done in 2019. Applicability of this act. This act is applicable to all over the India, but it is based on the state government's decision. And then objective of the act. This the basic objective of the act is to provide for certain benefits to employers in case of sickness, maternity and employment injury, and to make provision for the related matters. Okay, the basic objective is to help the employees in case of sickness, maternity or employment injury. Okay, key sections from an examination perspective, key terms defined in section 2 is important for us. We will be discussing in detail about employment injury, contribution, dependent, employee, principal employer. Okay, and then section 3 to 25 deals with constitutions of employee state insurance, the administrative mechanism of employee state insurance. Okay, one is ESI corporation and then standing committee and then medical council and then powers and duties of medical council and powers and duties of standard committee. This is what we are going to discuss in the second step. And then the other important sections are ESI fund, the contribution, benefits and then ESI code. All these points we will be discussing in the later part of our lecture series. Okay, this particular act is having 100 sections total. Overall it has 100 sections. This is divided into 8 parts. Chapter 1 deals with preliminary area, which is about section 1 and section 2 on a key terms definition, and then followed by employee ESI corporation, which deals section 3 to 25, and then chapter 3 finance and audit related area, which includes ESI fund, section 26 to 37, and chapter 4 deals with the contribution, which is a key section here, section 38 to section 45, and then benefits available to employees due to a ESI Insurance Act. This is dealt in chapter 5 section 46 to 73, and chapter 6 deals with adjudication of disputes and claims under section 74 to 83, and other remaining sections are penalties section 84 to 86 and the miscellaneous section 87 to 100. Okay, let's look into an applicability of the act. At the outset, this particular act is extended to all of India, and this act applies to all the factories, and there are few exceptions which we will see later. Okay, it acts applies to all the factories including government factories. Okay, it applies to all the factories including government factories if that government factory is providing better facility, better medical facility and insurance facility, then the benefits mentioned in this act, then this act is not applicable. Okay, if any factory which is, if any government factory which is providing more benefit or similar benefits of ESI to the employees, then ESI Act is not applicable. Otherwise it is applicable to all the factories. What is factory here? Factory means if there is a power usage and then minimum more than 10 members are employing, and then if there is a no power, if there is no power, then more than 20 members are employing. So if any place of work where power is used, then it is a if more than 10 employees are working, then it will be called as a factory. And if it is a no power, then more than 20 members are working, then it is called as factory. Okay, this is according to Factories Act of 1948. Okay, this we will discuss in the later part. Okay, and moving to that, state government in consultation with the central government can extend the provision of this act to any establishments. Okay, here we said only for factories, right? But with the consultation with the central government, state government can extend this act to any establishments. Once the establishment or factory comes under the act, then it should continue even the number of employees come down to lesser than the prescribed numbers in this act. Okay, we said, right, 10 members or more than 20 members. If once they registered for a ESI, and if the number of members comes down to from 20 to 18, then also they have to continue ESI. Okay, here we are going to see two examples where state government extended this act to a few establishments which they were not registered. Okay, the first one is International Ore and Fertilizers India Private Limited versus ESI Corporation. This is a branch of a foreign multinational company, and which was majorly dealing with the sales and other things, but more than 15 to 20 employees were there in this particular branch. And central government of Andhra Pradesh, sorry, state government of Andhra Pradesh issued a notice to this particular company to contribute for ESI. Okay, and the same way, regional director ESI Corporation versus Ramchandar. In this case, tailoring shop with an ironing, right? In every tailoring shop, we see ironing machines. So ESI of that particular region suggested that ironing is nothing but it is use of power. So the number of employees in the premises are more than 10. So they issued a notice to this particular person or a tailor for enrolling for ESI. Okay, but this kind of notice can be given with a 6 months of notice. Okay, with a 6 months period. Okay, you cannot say that from tomorrow they have to get and registered. There should be a minimum time, and that particular time is 6 months notice must be given in advance. Okay, let's look into some exemptions under section 87 to 91 available for factories and establishments. Under section 87, ESI corporation or appropriate government can exempt certain establishment in specified areas. If any establishment in specified area, and then those companies can be exempted from, or those establishment or factories can be exempted from Employee State Insurance Act. This specified area will be published by central or a state government in official gazette. Okay, and that kind of exemption will be given only for 1 year. It is not exceeding 1 year, and it will be reviewed every year, and then they come back with this kind of exemptions. Okay, any factories or establishment established in specified areas are exempted based on the notification given by appropriate government in official gazette. The same way, certain class of employees can also be, or a certain class of persons or certain level of employees can also be exempted by way of giving a notification in official gazette. So this 87 and 89 exemptions will be given after review by the ESI corporation and approval by appropriate government. Okay, according to section 90, if any central government organization, if any central government or a local authority organization, state government, central government or local authority organization, if they are providing substantially similar or superior to the benefits provided under this act, if they are giving a medical facility and insurance facility to employees similar or a superior than the benefits provided under this act, then this particular act is not applicable to those government or local authority factories. And then appropriate government like central government or state government, by giving an official gazette, they can exempt any employees or a class of employees or any factories or a class of factories from a partial exemption from the sections of this act. Okay, partial exemption also can be given. Some of the provisions may not be applicable for few of the establishments or a few of employees or a class of factories or a class of employees, but it should be given by appropriate government in the official gazette. The notification should be there in the official gazette. And this act shall not applicable to seasonal factories. This particular act will not applicable to seasonal factories which works only part of the year, and part of the year it will be idle. So in those cases, this Employee State Insurance Act is not applicable. And the same way, it is in similar way of other labor laws, right? This act is also not applicable to employees or a member of naval, military or air force. And any employee wages which exceeds the limit prescribed by the act, if any employee wages is more than 21,000, then this act is not applicable. Okay, if any employee wages is more than 20, this is the latest amount, and earlier it was 15,000 and prior to that it was less than that, but now it is 21,000. So for those employees this act is not applicable. Followed by factories working with the aid of power where the less than 10 persons are employed. If any factory, if the employees are less than 10, any factory which is running under power and which is a number of employees are less than 10, then this act is not applicable. Same way, any factories without the aid of the power, then the number of employees, if they are less than 20, then this act is not applicable. And this act is not applicable to mines, because mines comes under the Mines Act of 1952, and then railway running sheds. That's all about the overview of Employee State Insurance Act and its applicability and exemptions. And in the next video, we will be discussing about more topics on Employee State Insurance Act. First, we will start with the definition of Employee State Insurance, key definitions in Employee State Insurance Act. Okay, thanks for watching us. I request you to please subscribe this channel and also click like button below. And for any questions and queries, please put your questions in comment box. Thank you very much.